Hi there folks, my name's NovaWing24 and welcome to this little first impressions and review of 911 Operator from PlayWay Simulations. So, first off, I want to say thank you very much to the guys over at PlayWay for providing me with the review copy of this interesting little title. Yeah, thank you very much for this, and thank you for bringing it to my attention. So, 911 Operator was a title that was originally a Kickstarter campaign, and it's from a Polish developer. As you can probably guess from the title, it literally puts you in the role as an emergency services dispatcher. So it's your role to take emergency services calls, to take calls to the emergency hotline, and be able to dispatch your police, ambulance, and fire units to investigate activities and goings on all around your city. So now, on the surface, that may seem a little, well, what's the point? Well, this. Okay, so I'm going to put this in a little bit of context. This strikes a little bit close to home for me, because this is very closely related to what I do in the real world. And it was kind of like, okay, this is a little odd. Why would I want to do this? But it's got a lot in it, more than just the gameplay. And I'm going to just before we even start, I'll explain why I come to this conclusion. But before we even start, I'm just going to say, if you haven't got this, go out and buy it. Just go out and get it. If you're a parent and you've got kids, whatever age, doesn't matter, but it would be worth you, one, buying it for yourself and playing it, and two, buying it for your children and having them play it, because there's a lot of really good information in this, and a lot of really interesting, there's a lot of interesting facts and a lot of things to go through with this that are actually really important for the real world. So, and I'm not gonna lie, this can get pretty harrowing. So, but we'll see how we go. All right, so let's get started with. So we're here at the main menu screen. Nifly, it's kind of cool done as well. So if you want to, quit the game, it's the exit sign up the top here. Cool. This is like some information about the gameplay itself and how the game works. This is the credits over here, so like a meeting little thing. That's cool. You can continue the last game that you were playing. You can go into a career mode, or you can go into free game. Now I'm going to start with the instructions up the top here. Actually, no, we'll start with the settings down here. There's a little spanner down here of these settings. Settings fairly basic, easy, medium, or hard. Whether you move to the edge, show tutorial tips, team text, mute the operator. So that's you basically, and volume here, and whether you want to reset the data about the gameplay, your gameplay progress so far. That's it. So there's not a huge amount in the settings. Alright, so let's go into the information here. So, just a general disclaimer and stuff about here. But yeah, it goes through some sort of generic stuff about here. So you've got your police officers are in blue, your medical personnel are in white, and your firefighters are in red. And it goes through, and that's goes through here. There's two main modes, management and duty, and we'll see those going in just a second. Some basic controls, as I said, it's all done with a mouse and keyboard. Not a huge deal with this one. It goes through with your different teams. So again, blue, white, red, based on what they do. So your staff members are the people who actually, your actual first responder personnel, and actually going through there. So depending on the type of vehicle they have, depending on will govern how many of them are in each vehicle, and the types of vehicle that you have a whole heap of vehicles. They have different speeds, different acceleration rates, how many people or how many patients or prisoners they can transport, and how many crew they can hold. Reports, and we're not going to go through this too much, but we're going to see it all in play at the moment. But there's not a lot to this game. There's not a lot to this game. There's no first-person thing or anything. It's all about dispatching, but it's very, very important, some of the stuff that's in here. Alright, so first off, we're going to have a quick look at the career mode, and then we're going to have a look at free game. So, career mode essentially takes you through a series of cities that have these are all real-world cities. Everything here is real. All the maps are real. All the routes are real. The locations of emergency services are real. So this is all accessed from OpenStreetMap data. So it's all true to life. It's all real. Everything is as it is in the real world, which is really interesting, and it makes it sometimes a little bit creepy. But as you go through, so you start in career mode, you start at Kopele. Oh, I spent enough time in Hawaii. I should be able to pronounce Hawaiian by now. But anyway, so this is on the island of Oahu. That's the first city you get to. Then as you go through, as your reputation builds, and we'll talk about reputation for a moment, you start to unlock more of the city's campaign. Now the difference, the only real difference between the campaign cities and the cities that you do in free play is that the campaign have a couple of special triggers in them based on these cities. Like for example, San Francisco, you can actually get an earthquake, and you have to deal with the events that are triggered by an earthquake. Like there's broken gas mains, there's broken water pipes flooding homes, all sorts of stuff, and it goes through, of course, into New York. So, you know, the campaign mode is pretty cool, pretty interesting, and goes from there. As I said, it starts off fairly small scale and grows very quickly. So we're gonna do a mission in San Francisco. So let's get started here. Alright, so when you've chosen your city, you can go start now. The reset button here resets your progress within that city and anything that you've purchased within that city. Alright, so we're going to hit start. Now, this is what I was really wanting to get to. So, the loading screen. The loading screen is interactive, and it gives you a whole heap of tips on both for you as, the player, for you as someone, who either calls or listens to 911 calls or the emergency service calls, and what to do in an emergency situation. Like, for example, this tells you how do you talk to a 911 operator. So when you're calling in, reporting an emergency, this gives you some tips on what to do. 4W rules. Where are you? What happened? When did it happen? Who was involved? So this is thing that these are tips for you as the player and as in your role as the emergency service operator, to actually be able to, guide you through what questions to ask. But also good for you, if you ever find yourself in a situation where you have to call emergency services, then, this is the information to expect for them to ask you. Go through, don't call, unnecessarily. Yes, you get a lot of these ones as well, but at the same time, don't be afraid to call, gives you some tips on how to handle first aid. And this is all good, really good, real world stuff. Like, for this reason alone, it's worth buying, just to go through some just gentle visual reminders on, what to do in events of things, when things happen in the real world, and actually how to actually handle them. Like, this is all really good stuff. So, like CPR, basic instructions on how to perform CPR, like, this is all really, really good stuff. So, as I said, on these reasons alone, go out and get it. Just go buy it now. But if you're going to keep watching the video, that's cool. And this kind of stuff, will be good as well. The other good reason to read these is that you will find these situations here that will help you in game as well. So things like, what to do if it's burning oil. So it's like, cover the pot with a damp cloth. That's what you do. You don't have to don't throw water over it. So, it's all really good stuff. All right. So enough about that. Let's continue on here. Okay, so before you start your shift as the operator, you start with the management screen. So what you have here is you have a list of your squads that are about to be deployed. So you've got, for example, here we've got a few police bikes, a couple of patrol cars. We've got ambulances, we've got emergency responding vehicles, we've got larger ambulances that are a bit slower, but they can carry more people, medevac helicopters, we've got fire trucks, technical trucks, we've got a fire pickup, and each of these sort of serve a different role. They can do multiple things, but they are sort of optimized to do different things. Like, for example, your firefighting pickup, that's good for just moving cars that are broken down on the side of the road or blocking traffic. So you can send them because that's not an urgent job when compared to sending something like a fire truck when that may be needed to stop a building from burning down. So there's a lot of cool stuff, and this is where some of the management comes in. Now, each of your personnel that's in here, they can be fitted out with 2 items, and you get a range of items. So let's have a look. So the resources that you have available. So you've got vehicles available. So I've got no spare vehicles here, but I can purchase additional vehicles. So I can purchase additional things if I need to do. So if I want to buy a, you can have a police helicopter for doing things as well. In fact, should we buy a police helicopter? I don't know. What do I have at the moment? I don't have one of those at the moment. But I want to save up for a heli-tac. Let's buy a police helicopter. All right, we'll buy that one. All right, so you can buy your vehicles here, and they appear in your available vehicles to be able to assign. Now, as I said, each of your personnel. So this tab here is showing you stuff that you have unassigned at the moment, and the equipment that you have that's not currently being used by anyone. And infrastructure shows all the available police, medical, and fire services that are actually around on the map that you're playing. So you see that San Francisco's got a fair few around there. All right, and then you can't build any additional infrastructure. Maybe that might be something that they'll do later on. I'm not sure, but you can purchase additional equipment and additional personnel for you to deploy. So we've just purchased our police helicopter. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new team. Now, sometimes it does take an extra button click or two to make that up. So you create your new team, drag your vehicle onto it. Cool. So we've got 2 staff that we need. Don't have any at the moment. So let's have a look. What police officers do we have available? Not a whole lot. Now, in their skills, so driving is how quickly they'll get somewhere, and how quickly they'll be able to find a route. And marksmanship is how quickly or how accurate they can shoot. First aid is how quickly they can heal someone, and technical skills how quickly they can conduct firefighting operations or remove obstacles. So it's a good thing to have. And we've got this guy here. All right. So we've got 2 new officers. We've got Officer Perello and Officer Myers. So let's pop these in our helicopter. We'll pop them there. Now we need to equip them with things. Now they're going to be doing, so we're going to give them a system terminal. So system terminals, for example, they reduce time to how long they take to resolve cases. So they spend less time. They can file all the paperwork straight to you directly. So it's a lot quicker to resolve things. So we're going to give one of them that. Now, because they're operating in air, they're not really going to be able to use pistols. So let's equip them with some long-range weapons. So we're going to buy a couple of rifles. Equip them with them, and we're good. Cool. Now, some of the other equipment that you can pick up as well, so you can pick up shotguns, you can pick up bulletproof vests for your personnel. So some of these can only be carried by certain personnel, others can be carried by everybody. So if it can only be done by certain people, it'll have the service branch at the front, but if it's got no service branch at the front, then you'll be able to equip them to anybody. So we're going to let's have a look. I think we've got most vehicles. We've got other things. Now, system terminals, as I said, reduce time solving cases. Bulletproof vests. So if they end up getting in a gunfight with organised crime, which will happen, then this will hopefully stop your first responders from being shot and requiring medical attention. First aid kits, just what they are. So they aid in healing time, and technical tools aid in resolving obstacles and other issues that you might have. Obstacles can include cats up trees, by the way. So let's have a look. What else can we need to do? So we might throw a few things here. I think every vehicle seems to have a data pad at the moment. It looks like I need a few more. I might need a few more first aid kits. So let's buy few of those, and you can see down the right here is how much cash you've got available. You earn cash by completing jobs and getting revenue points, and you get reputation points, which we'll go through once we get into the actual duty cycle. So I'm going to buy a few technical tools as well. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to equip our all of our ambulances with a bit of a first aid kit, so they can do some get everybody healed up a little faster. And we've got police van there's got a first aid van there as well. Good. Okay, looking pretty good at the moment. Alright, now what we might do as well, we're going to give some technical tools to our fire trucks to give them a little bit more going on as well, and we're going to give them a first aid kit as well, so they've got plenty to help resolve things with. Okay, we'll give you one as well. Cool, done. So as I said, there's a bit to do that you can do here. As I said, obviously as you go on you can unlock a few more things. There are other things that you can unlock than what's here as well, like for example some of the maps allow you to have police dogs as well. Vehicles range, as I said, from police motorbikes, normal squad cars, police vans, good for carrying lots of criminals around. You got your rescue vehicle, medical car. Medical cars are good just for your ones that may not need hospitalization, or if they do, they can just take one person. Helicopters are great for long distance stuff, but they're very slow to start off with, but they get to the other side of the map very quickly. So you got your fireman's pickups, so they're just good for like your technical jobs that don't really need fires, and your firefighting helicopters as well, so always good to have. Alright, so once you've got everything set or spent all your money and you're ready to go and ready to start your shift, what you do down here is you go down the bottom and you go start deployment. Alright, so your started pause. Now this gets you your city. Now as I said, this is all taken from OpenStreetMaps. Now all the jobs are randomly generated and they will come up, and they're real addresses. Like they're real addresses placed on the map in their real locations. So, you know, this is... If you do this in your own city, which I've done, and which we'll have a look at later on, it gets a little creepy. And like all the locations of all the emergency service locations are actually where they are in the real world. So yeah, kind of creepy, kind of cool. Alright, so this is where it goes. Now we'll get going, and we'll go start duty. So your police vehicles will automatically go on patrol, except helicopters they'll just chill. Oh, and we've got our first job. So reports will either come in by this, where they're just reported in either from other agencies, or like messages or whatever, or you'll actually get a phone call. And we're gonna get that one. So when you get onto job, so they start resolving things. The more people you have them resolved, the better they're skilled, the better quicker they'll be resolved. Oh, and we got our first emergency service.
911, what's your emergency?
Hello, there was a car collision.
So you've got to ask how to, like when to, what to do. So
where did the collision happen?
Around.
Okay, so we know where it is now. Okay, so we go, are there any
injuries?
And multiple things will happen while it's going on.
When did it happen?
5 minutes ago.
Are any of the vehicles blocking traffic?
Yeah, both of them were completely crashed.
Do you know who caused the accident?
I did.
All right, sir. Please wait for the emergency services to arrive.
Okay, thank you.
Alright, so there you go. So you go through, it'll go through with some scripted audio, you based on your questions. Some of the options will just default when it's the only option left, and then you choose the most correct one to go through, and reports will come through it multiple times. So we've got someone drinking in public, so we're going to get some police out there as well. Alright, we've got a new one, so we've got a heart attack, so let's get a...
We're ready. I copy. Going there.
Here, yep, cool, he's got his fine, yep, and we're good, so it goes through and sort of goes through, so obviously the greater the technical skill, the quicker it'll go through. Alright, new report, so we've got someone stolen a car.
I copy. What are the orders? I copy.
Got a helicopter there to keep an eye on the crops. Now, this thing is that criminals can actually get away from you, so if you don't respond to it, or if you respond too slowly to something, they will be able to get away. So we've got a
911, what's your emergency?
Alright, so... Okay.
Hello? Is anyone there?
And this is the other great thing about it, is goes through real calls that emergency services get and processes they go through, and it'll be able to go through things. So okay, right. So maybe they can't talk. Nope. So we're redialing back.
Hello?
Hello, sir. We got a 911 call from your phone. Do you have an emergency?
Excuse me. My phone. I accidentally called 911.
Sir, are you having an emergency?
No, I'm not.
Please lock your phone and make sure you won't call 911 by accident again, okay? That way you won't take up an emergency line for more important calls.
Of course, I'm sorry.
And yeah, this is the thing. It goes through things that you have to deal with as an operator. Oh, we've got a new report here. So, fallen tree blocking traffic.
We're
Okay, so we
ready.
don't need
On my
a
way
big
there.
fire unit. We can just use one of our technical pickup trucks to go and do that one. Cool story. Yep, and it's really good because it goes through some of the things, it teaches you how to handle things, and just keep your keypad locked so you're not dialing 000 by accident. 000 is the Australian emergency call number, so yep, there you go. So I may refer to that throughout here as well, because as I said, this is kind of what I do for a living, and I think this is really important. Okay, car reported speeding. So we're not going to need to arrest anybody, so we can send somebody like the motorbikes there, because they can just give the speeding ticket. And you'll notice that it's just like a car GPS. It'll reroute as it goes along.
911, what's your emergency?
Hello. There was a car collision.
Where did the collision happen?
Around.
We'll get our where. All right, cool.
Are there any injuries?
Yes. One person is injured.
Okay, so we'll send our ambulance. Okay.
Can you tell what kind of injuries they have?
One of the passengers says his stomach hurts really bad.
Well, that's not good.
Okay, just make sure they don't move until the ambulance arrives.
Sure.
Are any of the vehicles blocking traffic?
Yes. One of them can't be moved.
When did it happen?
Just a moment ago.
Do you know who caused the accident?
We're still arguing about that. Can you send the police to figure it out?
All right, sir. Please wait for the emergency services to arrive.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, when you click on the icon, it'll actually should give you the colours based on which agency should be best to turn out. So, red for fire, white for ambulance, and blue for that one.
Requesting emergency.
Broken bone while falling. Okay.
We're ready. On my way
You
there.
out there? Yeah. So, and then as each one gets resolved, that colour will go away and stuff like that. So, it's really good visual impression of that. And as I said, like the tips it has is great. And then if you, for example, you send a vehicle that can't help with it, it'll go, what's going on? We've got a man trying to jump off a bridge. Okay,
We're
so
ready.
send a fire truck.
Roger that.
Send an
We're ready.
ambulance.
I copy. Going there.
911, what's your emergency?
Hello? I would like to report a robbery.
Where did this happen?
Okay, so we find out where. Okay.
Do you have any injuries?
No, I think we're fine.
Okay, cool. A little bit of text issues, but anyway.
Are your attackers still in the area?
I have no idea. They ran away somewhere.
Okay, so you're not injured, and the people who robbed you have left the area?
Well, yes, but I have been robbed.
I want you to go to your nearest police office and report the crime. Right now, there's nothing we can do about it.
But they... all right, whatever.
Okay, so for things like that, emergency services can't do anything straight away. So, what are you going to do? So, you actually, if I answered that call, you can still send somebody out if you want, but you'll actually lose reputation points. So what you're better off doing is you actually just ignore that one, and you let that one go. Because, I can still do it if I want, but I'll actually end up using your negative reputation points. And you can see it's keeping track of it up there. Broken bone, who's nearby? You're
On my
nearby.
way there.
And this again is another really good because it gives you the idea that when you ask for emergency services, there's a lot to it. It's not just stuff is just there.
Roger that.
You got to get them around. You got to move them around. You got to keep them where they
911,
are.
what's your emergency?
Help! My kitchen is on fire!
Okay, all right. So we're gonna find out where.
Where are you calling from?
Okay, so we find out
What's on fire?
The counter! I accidentally threw a cloth on the burner, and the fire spreads quickly!
All right. Okay, so now from all things we can go.
Try to put out the fire with water.
Phew. It's gone, I guess. I guess I panicked. Thank you.
There you go.
No problem.
You can
Just
do it
doing my job.
without intervening with emergency services as well. Like you can actually get it sorted yourself. So yep, we're good. We took care of that fire, so we can ignore that one, which is always good to know. All right, so we got a car speeding again. And there's a whole heap of different ones that'll come through here, and it's all completely randomized, so you'll have no idea what you're going to get on each of your shifts, just like in the real world. Like there's a set. I think so far I've come across maybe about 35, 40 different ones. But there's always something different coming through, and it really reflects the fact that you get a lot of
911, what's your
issues
emergency?
coming on to in real life. Okay, so we go, yep.
Where did this happen?
Around,
Okay, so we find out.
Do you have any injuries?
yes, I was hit badly.
Okay.
And yourself, are you injured?
My head, I'm bleeding.
Okay, I want you to just stay there and wait until the ambulance arrives.
Sure.
Are your attackers still in the area?
I have no idea. They ran away somewhere.
Did they have any weapons?
No, I think not.
All right, sir, we'll take care of it. Just wait for emergency services to arrive.
Yeah, I will.
Now these kind of ones can actually, you can still potentially get the robbers sometimes if they're close. Alright, so we've got somebody drinking
Waiting
in
for
public.
instructions heading over there.
There.
Waiting for
Alright,
instructions.
looks like, nope, looks like they've got away. So
Heading over
sometimes
there.
they'll be around,
Case
sometimes you
resolved.
won't. And sometimes you do, it's speed is key. Speed is key, you'll get there, as it is in real life. You know,
We're
speed
ready.
is the key to it. But it's also about sending the correct units at the correct time. So it's a lot of challenges coming through this one. Oh, okay, and that's...
Reporting. On my way there.
But at the same time, some of these
Reporting,
things
on
can
my
be
way.
very, very harrowing.
We're ready. Roger that.
Some of the calls that you deal with are potentially like they can hit really close to home, and they can be pretty horrific.
911, what's your emergency?
Help! My kitchen is on fire!
This is a common one that you'll get, by the way.
Where are you calling from? What's on fire?
The counter! I accidentally threw a cloth on the burner, and the fire spreads quickly!
Try to put out the fire with water.
Phew. It's gone, I guess. I guess I panicked. Thank you.
No problem, just doing my job.
Bye.
So as I said before, like you got the option to send all available services. You can tell them to wait, or you can ignore it. We can safely ignore that one because we managed it on the first call, which is always good. All right, most likely carrying a gun.
We're ready. Roger that.
What are the orders? Heading over there.
We're on my way there.
Right, reroute you. There we go. So it seems easy, but it can also escalate very, very quickly.
911, what's your emergency?
Hello? There's been a car crash.
Where did the collision happen?
Around,
Are there any injuries?
yeah, 2 people with some injuries.
When did it happen?
Just a moment ago.
Are any of the vehicles blocking traffic?
Yes, one of them can't be moved.
Do you know who caused the accident?
The other driver.
So you can actually still
All right,
dispatch
sir.
units
Please
while
wait
you're
for the
still on the
emergency
phone. You just
services
can't
to
select
arrive.
another emergency that might
Okay,
be going
thank
on.
you.
There we go. So we've got those. We've got our 3 units assigned, and off we go. So you can become familiar with it, but as things can escalate very, very quickly. Things can happen, and especially when you get like a smaller city map as well, it can go through. Okay, we've got another technical job.
Roger that.
Yeah, and sometimes you'll have units that won't get used the entire match. Other times you'll have everybody be going everywhere at the same time. So it's a really, really interesting, and I think it's an incredibly well done title. For an idea that seems so odd, it's a very, very simple execution, but it has such potential and such power to be such an educational tool as well. You get all sorts of real weird comes through here. Okay, the heart attack been recorded. Send the heart attack one there.
Roger that.
911, what's your emergency?
Hello. There was a car collision.
Where did the collision happen?
Around.
Are there any injuries?
Yes, 2 people have some injuries.
When did it happen?
5 minutes ago.
Are any of the vehicles blocking traffic?
Yes, one of them can't be moved.
Do you know who caused the accident?
The other driver. He's obviously drunk.
All right, sir. Please wait for the emergency services to arrive.
Okay, thank you.
Sometimes the sticky selection may not work as it should do, so you gotta be careful of that one. But yeah, it's really it's such a simple idea, but done so very well. But some of the stuff you can deal with is very, very harrowing. you know, some of the ones that you deal with are things like, you know, I had one where a father's called in and he's found his 14-year-old daughter, you know, he's committed suicide in bed and is found her the next morning. I've had ones where you've got, you know, a newborn infant's been found in a dumpster, and you have to help someone, you walk somebody through, you know, being able to like recover them and keep the baby alive until the medics can get there. Like, it's harrowing, this stuff, but it's very important because it teaches you a lot of information. Alright, so at the end of your 8-hour shift, you get some information through here. So you go through every single report that came through, whether you resolve them or not, what happens, and these points here are your reputation points. So, and you can go through and you can inspect them. So, for example, it goes through, this is what's happened, and if you took the call, it'll go through your conversation. These ones are usually tabbed with the call. So, for example, we can see that the crash vehicle was blocking traffic. Car done. Yep, all good. What's another one that we took? And then ignored. Here we go. So ignored. So we can go through and go, yep, cool story, no worries. And now, if I sent somebody, a copper out there, I get a -5 or a -3 on the reputation, because the reputation is about not only your reputation with the public, but your reputation with, you know, your emergency services as well, and that contributes towards your ability to do things in the future. The higher your reputation, the more you have access to more higher and newer and shinier equipment. So yeah, really cool like that. On the right hand side here, you get your duty summary as well. So you get the total cases that you dealt with during your shift, how many criminals were thrown in prison, how many people got various bills and fines and whatever. Hospitalized, how many people you take to hospital, how many people that you healed on site or took to hospital, and your reputation at the end of it as well. Finances, so I said this goes through the money thing, so you can buy more equipment and stuff like that, which obviously is an overly simplified thing, because it would be so cool for emergency services. They could just buy all this new gear and whatever at the end of their operator shifts. That would be so awesome. You get your base salary, rewards from actually completing the jobs, monies that you collect from fines, the salaries of your emergency services workers, so you do still have to pay them, and the total profit that you get. You get a little summary down here of officers that would actually be promoted, so their skills go up, their skills get improved, and their ability to resolve things is all done. So nice, simple, there you go. You get a general summary as well, so total cases resolved, so things like that, and this goes through your career of this city. Now, as you can see, if we click back, it'll go back to the management screen. So you can see at the top here, didn't point this before, is how many duties that I've completed in this particularly, how many shifts I've completed in this city. So really, really cool. As I said, the campaign mode has got those cities that we saw. It does have specific triggers and certain randomized events that will happen specific to that city. I said that, you know, things like an aeroplane crash in Milwaukee, in Albuquerque, a train crash in Albuquerque as well, a earthquake here in San Francisco. Haven't come across the ones in Hawaii or in New York yet, but it'll be interesting to see what they are. Alright, so we go through, so we go through it, we go back there, cool, done, okay? And again, you always get this through any of the loading screens. Really, really cool. As I said, just buy it just for these. Anyway, okay, I want to go through one more, we're going to do one more round together, because I want to show you a free game. So, free game is really cool, because, as I said, this pulls data from OpenStreetMap. So, it will pull, you type in a city name, and it will throw it out at you. Now, it doesn't regionalize it whether you have 911 or 000 or 112 or 999 as the emergency service number. It doesn't differentiate about it. It's not that good, but still. This can be pretty harrowing. Like, for example, as I said, I pulled my home city in here, and the locations of everything were there. So, okay, let's put a city name. So let's do London. Okay. And we click download. Now it will find, and it'll go, if it goes through multiple cities, it'll go through that one. Which one do you want to go to do? So let's do London, the United Kingdom. So when you select the city that you want to have, click OK. And then what it'll do is it'll pull the data from OpenStreetMap and load it in, so you can actually, you know, do this in your city, which is really cool can be kind of harrowing. As I said, especially when I did it for my city, because all the police, fire, ambulance stations, hospitals, they were all in the right place. They were where they are. Like, I'm looking at it, and the street names were all correct. As you might have heard when we were listening to the audio of some of those calls, they sort of fuzz out the actual name of the street so that they can reuse the scenarios no matter what the city is. But it still pulls the street address, and we'll still put it up there, and we'll throw it at you. Kind of cool, kind of creepy. Alright, so we're going to play London because of that one, because I'm not playing my city again because that freaked me out a little too much. So we're going to load London that we just downloaded, so you can see that we downloaded it, duties, done, there we go, and we continue. Okay, so we've got our first one. So as you can see, never done this city before, so we've got duties 0. Now you can see here that when you first start on a city, you've only got $2,000 currency, whatever it is you want to call it. That's all you got. Now you can see here that I've already got 2 vehicles that I haven't got assigned yet. I've got a few staff here that also haven't been assigned yet, and no equipment, but I can get a list of all the different police stations and whatever that are there. Alright, so what I'm going to do, because I've already got the equipment and the staff, I am going to produce a new team. Should produce a new team. Look, by the way, folks, this is still technically in beta. It is due for its final release in about 3 weeks, but it's got to a point now where it's pretty much finished. It hasn't got a lot of bugs left in it. The new team creation bug is one. It's got a couple of audio tracks that aren't finished, but still, it's in a state now where I wanted to review it, I want to have a look at it, and I want to show it off to you guys, because I think that this is something that everybody should own. Everybody should own this, because this is just an incredibly well done one. Alright, so let's fill up our vehicles first. Yeah, and that's the other bug, that occasionally it's got a scroll bug in it. Not sure why there, but anyway. Alright, let's get 80% there, 70% there. Marks of ship's good. Alright, cool. Okay, so we've got 3 officers. Don't have any equipment to give them. Do I have enough money to buy some firearms for them? Though, technically speaking, the London police, they shouldn't actually have any firearms. But anyway, we'll let that slide for gameplay purposes, shall we? So we'll buy 2, 3 of those. But it means we don't have enough for another officer, but that's okay. We'll have 1 car without an extra officer. Actually, what we might do is, I know that we'll move you into there, so just got the bike on there. Alright, cool. So that's it. We've got our city ready to go. So let's start our deployment. Alright, so here we go. As I said, same as what we saw before. I said all the stations, ambulances, everything that's there, it's all like it is in London. And having lived in London, this is actually probably still going to be almost as harrowing as doing as Brisbane, because I used to live here. Why did I pick London? Okay, alright, let's get on and start our duty. Hopefully we get to hear a few more of the example scenarios that we get. Alright, here we go. We've got another one here. Okay, 3 suspects possibly armed.
I copy.
Okay,
We're ready.
On
my way, sir.
Reporting.
Get an
On my way.
ambulance. Probably going to need an extra transport for...
On my way,
That's the
there.
other thing you have to think about. So when they have to arrest people and take them back to hospital, or take them back to the police station, or rescue people and so they got to go back to the hospital, they actually take up those little blank squares
911,
in your,
what's your
in your
emergency?
vehicles.
God help! There's a baby in our garbage container.
Oh, this is this one.
Someone left a baby here.
Okay.
Ma'am, where are you calling from?
Behind a block.
Yeah, no, that's straight. Oh, that's scary.
Is the baby breathing? Is it alive?
Yes. Alive and crying. I thought it was a cat. Oh, God.
Can you see the baby?
Yes. I can see and hear it, but I'm not able to reach it. I'm too short. It must be a newborn.
Okay.
Did you try to stand on something so you could reach the baby?
No, there's nothing really I could use.
Look around. Is there anyone nearby?
Some of it's about
somebody walking
logic
past,
as well, but
maybe
you know,
a neighbor.
it's all this is all common stuff and good for people to know. You know, if you remember, if you ever find yourself in a scenario like this, similar to this, you can remember things like this. And this is why I think this is a really important title that everybody should have. Okay.
Find something to stand on, okay? And carefully pull the baby out of the dumpster.
Okay, I did it. I have him in my hand.
Make sure the baby can breathe freely. You're doing great. I've got an ambulance on the way, so just wait there, okay?
Okay, I'll wait right here. Come quick.
See, stuff like that can be pretty, like, harrowing. It can be pretty harrowing. Okay. Alright. Alright, what do we got here?
Waiting for instructions. Heading
Apparently
over there.
it's the weak for babies, two of those at the same
Standing
time. Alright, okay, we're good. The only thing that I kind of don't agree with is that you don't have, vehicles don't return to base automatically. See if I can give you just a bike. Right. Yeah, that's one thing that I'd like to see, is I'd like to see the vehicles automatically return to a base.
911, what's your
would
emergency?
be nice.
Hello? There was a robbery.
Where did this happen?
Around...
Do you have any injuries?
Yeah, my friend is hurt.
What happened to your friend?
Find out the
They knocked
information.
him down. He's hurt and is having breathing problems.
Okay, just make sure he doesn't move until the ambulance arrives.
Sure.
Are your attackers still in the area?
I have no idea. They ran away somewhere.
Did they have any weapons?
No, I don't think so.
We'll take care of it. Just wait for emergency services to arrive.
Yeah, I will.
I'll wait for the location on the 779.
Yeah, you gotta sort of manage a lot of those things. So we got okay, card left on road. We don't have any of the technical ones, so we just throw that one out there. Oh, we got another one over here. As I said, it happens a lot. It gets very quickly. So pedestrian,
On my way.
hit by car.
We're ready. On my way.
That's
We're ready.
Probably gonna need somebody. To
Roger
arrest
that.
it.
Ready for the next case.
Yeah, the robbery ones are interesting because sometimes you don't know, because you can still send them because you never know if you're actually
We're
still
ready.
going to
I
get
copy.
the
Going there.
if you're going to get the criminals or not. Sometimes it'll show you just the medical one, you can still have the chance to get the criminals if you get them there quickly enough. So, yeah.
We're
You know,
ready.
this is the kind of stuff, it gets
We're ready.
harrowing,
I
it
copy.
really does.
911, what's your emergency?
Hello? Oh, yeah, hi. I have a problem. I ordered a pizza, and it's too damn spicy.
And you also get this.
Are you sure you've reached the right number?
Damn. Sure.
Are you in danger but can't talk about it because there's someone in the room?
What? No, I just want to get
And
my
you have
money
to deal
back.
with the prank calls. So this is also...
Sir, you're tying up a 911 emergency line with a non-emergency call.
Think how you would feel if it was your pizza.
So again, really important lessons in here. Don't, the prank calls, not cool. Like, they're really not. As I said, this is an industry I work in.
Police transport ready for the next
So
case.
actually, as I said, sometimes this hits a little close to home. But yeah, it's also important to know that, it's just, don't tie up emergency services lines just for shits and giggles, alright? Just don't, because
We're ready.
people's lives are can literally be, it is life and death shit. Like, just don't do it, okay? But at the same time, don't be afraid to call it if you are genuinely think, or if you think it might be an issue. Oh, that's going to be all over the place. As I said,
911, what's your
your placement of
emergency?
your vehicles can often screw you around.
What's the problem, little guy?
With my mask.
With your mouth?
No, with my mask. I have to do it. Will you help me?
Well, where do you live, little guy?
No, with my mask.
Yeah, I know. You want help with your math, but where do you live?
No, I want you to talk to me on the phone.
Is your mom or dad nearby?
Yeah, but she's busy.
Can you ask your mom to come on the phone?
Mom! Come on the phone! Mom!
This one's an interesting one.
What are you doing? The policeman is helping me with math. What did I tell you about staying on the phone? That I need help, so you need to call somebody. Yeah, but I didn't need the police. Hello? I'm sorry.
No problem, ma'am. Is everything all right there?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll tell him to stay
It's,
on the phone.
yeah.
It's all right, ma'am. Just make sure he's not afraid to make a 911 call in the future, okay?
Of course.
And that's an interesting one. That, does happen. But, it's going to get from there and... Oh, okay. You're not going to get there fast enough.
We're ready, 10-4.
Now, it doesn't allow for things like traffic and stuff like that. And, it's a fairly simplistic way of doing things. Like, for example, it's all very sort of generic and stuff like that. But, it's the type of calls that you're getting, and the extra information that you learn, like, this is that you learn or get reminded of when you do things like the, oh god, okay, yeah.
911, what's your emergency?
Hello? There's an unconscious man here on the pavement.
Where are you calling from?
Around...
Did you see him pass out?
Yes, I saw him falling.
Does he have a pulse? Is he breathing?
Yeah, he's breathing. Oh, wait. He's waking up.
Can you stay with him and make sure he's completely okay?
Sure. Bye.
So, there you go. So that one was good. That was self-resolved. Cool. So you can go through and you can go... Cool, done. But yeah, it's got a lot of important messages in here, important things to learn about how to help, help emergency services, how to, handle things yourselves when you get faced by some pretty confronting scenarios. So, yeah, as I said, I thoroughly recommend this. I really, really do. I cannot recommend it enough. I think this is an amazing title. Somewhat harrowing at times, some of the things that come through. Some of them are kind of funny. There's one which is the developer. The developer's actually in here. The lead developer, he actually makes a call and goes, yeah, hey, can he talk to them about, like, he wants to make a game for it?
Hello? I need help. It's burning.
I'm sorry, ma'am. What's burning?
It's burning. Send in the fire brigade immediately, please.
Ma'am, where are you?
Okay, cool.
Okay, ma'am, I need you to calm down. What is burning?
My car. There's a smoke coming from under the hood. Send in firefighters.
What I want you to do is get away from your car right away. Do it as safely as you can, okay?
Okay.
Is anyone hurt?
No. No one is hurt. Will you send help?
Did you try to put the fire out yourself?
Myself? No.
Go to the trunk of your car, take out the fire extinguisher, and pull the pin.
Okay, I'm going.
Next, I want you to pull the lever by the steering wheel that will open up the hood of your car. And then go to the front of the car, spray the fire extinguisher onto the engine.
And, complete with the sound of, like, what's happening in the background. This is good.
I'll call for roadside assistance. Thanks.
There you go. And another car still.
You're welcome.
I'll wait for the location on
Alright, so we can mark that one as done. Okay, so you're in the middle of nowhere. Air ambulance for you. Yeah, there's not a huge amount of bugs. There's a few occasional missing bits of dialogue at the moment that still need to come out. There's a couple of bugs like the new vehicle ones still get things, whatever. But overall, this is pretty damn solid, and I'm pretty impressed by it. So and you never have enough vehicles in the right places at the right time. Probably the only game mechanic thing that I'd like to see come back is I'd like to see a return to base option on your vehicles. That would be nice. That's about it.
There was a car collision.
Where did the collision happen?
Around.
Are there any injuries?
Yes, 2 people have some injuries.
When did it happen?
Just a moment ago.
Are any of the vehicles blocking traffic?
Yeah, both of them are completely crashed.
Do you know who caused the accident?
Well, I did.
All right, sir. Please wait for the emergency services to arrive.
Okay, thank you.
There you go. We got our vehicles going on, and another new report. Okay. Running out of ambulances.
On my way.
Cool.
Requesting air the situation on 7 go and going down.
One injured. Okay, we're good. As I said, like, you get a whole heap of stuff. Your vehicles will report if they see something else on the way. They will see, and report in and let you know what they saw.
We're ready. On my way. We're Roger that.
Closer.
Oh yeah, I guess the choice is
Click on this
I
one.
see.
Driver resolved. Doesn't need to be taken to prison. Good. So all good. Oh god, it's another sharp tour. Yep. Nope. Helicopter for you.
911, what's your emergency?
Hello, I would like to order a big pepperoni with extra cheese, please.
Okay. Cool story.
Excuse me, you've reached 911.
Yes, I know. Oh, and 2 cans of soda.
Ma'am, do you have an emergency?
Yes, I do.
And you can't talk about it because of someone in the room?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, this gets a little,
Do you also need medical attention? Is somebody hurt?
Yes, do you know how long it will be?
Who's the oppressor? I have an officer about a mile away. I'll send it right away.
Yes, please.
Can you stay on the line with me?
No, thanks. I hope we'll get here soon.
All right, the officers are coming.
okay, and you get calls like that every now and again as well,
We're
which
ready.
are a little
Roger
harrowing.
that.
Okay, need
Reporting. I copy.
ambulance for
Going there.
you. Cool story. Yeah, as I said, there's a lot that goes on with these that can really throw you out a little times. It can be a little close to home from time to time.
What are the orders? I copy. Going there.
And other ones which
What
are,
are
you
the
know,
orders heading
not
over
too
there?
bad to deal with, and other
What are
ones
the
like
orders?
one there.
I copy. Going there.
Okay.
Where's down the sheriff? What are the orders?
You need to go over there.
Resolved.
Okay, cool. And yep, all done. Group of thugs. Yeah, you get, as I said, you get all sorts of stuff through here. You get terrorist attacks. Oh,
911, what's your emergency?
Good evening. I need help. Yeah, stupid thing.
What's your name, sir?
I'm Jacob Copus.
Where are you calling from?
Around
Why'd you call 911?
my cat climbed up a tree and can't go down. It's very dark. Could you send firefighters?
Is it a tall tree? Have you tried climbing it and getting the cat down yourself?
It's not really high, but it's dark.
Well, Jacob, you can try climbing the tree yourself if you want, and trying to get your cat down. But I don't have any fire department vehicles available right now to help you.
I'll try.
and he just broke his leg.
Hello?
Sometimes
Jacob?
this can go wrong.
Jacob, what happened?
I fell off the fucking tree and I think I broke my leg. Why did you tell me to climb it?
I didn't tell you to do anything, Jacob.
You told me to take the damn cat off the tree. I'm gonna file a complaint. Help, it hurts like hell.
Yeah, it
I'm sending
happens.
you an ambulance. Please wait, okay?
Just hurry. For God's sake, it hurts.
And shit like that will happen on your shift as well. Cool story. So, you know, it shows a lot of the different sides of what's going on, you know, the kind of things that, you know, various, you know, agencies have to deal with and people have to deal with. I mean, frontline, you know, first responders, you know, get a lot of hard rapids sometimes, but you know, it's yeah, but you know, they get a lot of support. But also think about the guys who answer these calls. They have to deal with a lot of this crap too. And as I said, it hits a little close to home for me, but it's a very, very well done. And yes, the cat does get its own. The cat on a tree as an obstacle does get its own picture, which is kind of cool. I like that. Anyway, so yeah.
Standing by.
Once your last case are closed, that's it. End of your shift, and we're done. So there we go. Alright, and yeah, as I said, you get to go through here. One thing interesting here, you can actually go through, you actually see what's done, so you can actually see that yes, you were given the right, you can see a breakdown of it. And actually, I want to see the breakdown of my cat on the tree. Yeah, totally failed that one. Formal complaint was made by the caller. Nice. Awkward. Anyway, alright. So there you go. That's 911 operator. I cannot recommend this enough. I think this is an incredible title, very low cost, and I think it is a great title for those who consider themselves gamers and those who consider themselves not gamers. This is an educational tool that is brilliant. Really fun when you get to send a police to go and arrest the guys who make prank 911 calls. They're kind of fun. Anyway, but yes, so I make this highly recommended. Go out, buy it, just get it. Buy it for all your friends too and family. Just get it. It's just really, really well done. Well, folks, that does wrap up my little review of this one. Thank you very much for joining me. As I said, it is currently in final stages of beta. The full release should be available in the next couple of weeks. But I think it's in definitely a state now that you can go and pick it up. And said all the lessons in there are just incredible. They're brilliant. Go get it. Alright, folks, as I said, thank you very much for joining me for this one. I want to say thank you very much to the guys over at PlayWay for providing me with the review copy of this. It's just been absolutely fantastic. A roller coaster, emotional ride, but a fantastic title to see. And as always, folks, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying these videos and want to see more. And of course, as always, you can catch up with me and all the things I'm up to between videos by finding me on Facebook and on Twitter. Just search NoBowling24. Alright, folks, thanks very much for watching. Take care, safe skies to all, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.